So I have a question for both of you. Excuse me. Wow. I have a question for both of you.
Smoking too much, man. That's what
Drink
Hold
some
on.
water, bro.
that's the
Give it a
Hold on.
sec. Give it a sec.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
that surfer in you, man. Like it's coming out finally.
Yes.
All right. Three, two, one.
Oh man. I love that intro, man. I love it. I love it. How you fellas feeling, man? This is the first episode of The Wire, man. How you fellas feeling?
Good, man. How's it going? Mike, what's up?
What's up, boys? Love it. That intro is amazing. I can't
It
believe
is.
Just what we needed. Yeah.
It is. So a little bit about ourselves, man. On the left here, you got Paul Rodriguez, one of the CEOs to Veterans Choice Investments, and on the right, you got another CEO, Michael Oakes, and I'm just the ground working man, Bakari Banks. How y'all doing today?
He's a humble man. He is not a grind worker. He's much more than that. But I'm great, man. How are y'all feeling tonight?
Always good, brother. Always good. Always good, man. So just starting off, man, since this is like the pilot episode or whatever, like why'd y'all start the company? Like just giving it straight.
Paul?
And what is the company?
Yeah, so we started a company called Veterans Choice Investments. And I guess the initial thought behind it was I don't want to have to work every single day to live and to provide for the ones that I love and to take care of the things that I need to take care of, right? Like I have to live somewhere, so I have to pay for that. I have to do things and I have to eat and all these other requirements that life has. And I realized that while I was in the military that I didn't want to do this for the rest of my life, that I wanted something more for myself. I tried a bunch of different things, entrepreneurship, starting my own drop shipping companies and asking Mike for advice on literally everything that I do. Mike was a real estate agent at the time and I hit him up and I was like, hey dude, I'm thinking about doing like this wholesale thing. I'm not really sure what it is. And so we started investing in real estate. I've been kind of leaning on Mike a lot and a lot on banks here, obviously. But yeah, we're an investment company and we also specific kind of have like our own twist on things and we invest creatively as well. So if you hear like creative finance or like seller finance or anything like that thrown around, we do a lot of that. But yeah, Mike is a great inspiration for this. He was all the real estate knowledge.
Yeah.
Mike, you got the floor, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I've done a handful of different jobs. I've been a lot of time in a bunch of different fields. I went to college instead of the military route, unlike both of y'all, which thank you for your service. Just so everybody knows, we have 2 Air Force military police officers in our presence right now. So let's just, I know you guys hate it, but we're going to clap it up for y'all right here, us civvies, okay?
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Absolutely. But I went to school as university called California University of Pennsylvania, different place now. It's called West Penn, California, I believe now. So, yay. Got into recruiting. Then I worked at Enterprise for a while. I've been a caddy for a long time, carrying golf bags. But then I was a real estate agent just after COVID, worked in insurance just before that. I learned the ropes of real estate, learned that you can make a decent bit of money in this world, I guess, and you don't really have to be chained to a desk to actually do it. So that's kind of what Paul one day called me about and said, I have a different idea of real estate. While I was a real estate agent, was currently moving at the time to a different state away from where I grew up, and met Paul and became very close and best friends with. Started my life over kind of, and now we're here running this company with great team behind us. It's wild what one phone call from your best friend can do for you.
It's amazing, man. It's amazing. I can tell y'all fellas one thing. Y'all both have some great stories, man. I don't have near as well of a story as y'all. I joined the Air Force back in 2018, and I thought that I was getting into something that could change my financial situation drastically. It's funny because I went through BMT, went through tech school and all that, and I came to this one base. It's called Whiteman Air Force Base, and I got thrown right into an exercise. And for those who are not military and anything like that, usually exercises are either a good thing or a bad thing, and usually they're long-winded either way. So I got thrown into an exercise, and one of my friends to this day, his name is Noah. He actually he could he could he could sympathize with me with this story. I had 52 cents to my name. It was my first time living alone, and I had to eat spaghetti and beans for like a week. Spaghetti being $1 and the beans being 38 cents. It's a pretty lucrative meal in a way. Like, but I started. I said to myself, I cried in my dorm. I said to myself, never again will I ever go to this low, being this broke. So I actually started doing FBA. I started doing all these different ventures with a couple of my friends, and um, and I ran into this guy here, Paul Rodriguez, and I was doing a dispatch position. I ran into this guy, and we started talking about business. And man, it's probably one of the best connections I made. Next to you, Mike, of course. I'm not taking away from you.
No, no, no. Paul's a better connection than I am. Trust me.
Man, I'm telling you, man, this guy, he opened my eyes on a lot of things. Even though, like, we probably didn't talk to each other a lot until like year 3, but like,
Yeah.
he hit me up one day. He was like, "Hey, you want to go on this real estate venture with me?" And I was like, "You know what? I'm not doing shit. Why not? Right? Why not?" And that sparked that was the ember to a beautiful relationship here in Veterans Choice Investments. I really enjoy the fact that these guys are taking their way out to actually helping veterans, let alone helping people, young airmen like myself. I'm still active duty, by the way, but helping young airmen like myself invest in themselves as well as investing in real estate, let alone you know, taking that dollar and spreading it out. That's all I got, fellas. I mean, that's Bakari Banks for you, man. If
So I have a question for both you. Excuse me. Wow. I have a question for both you.
smoking too much, man, that's what
Drink
Hold
some
on.
water,
it
bro.
does to you.
Give it a
Hold on.
sec. Give it a sec.
Hold on. Wait, hold on.
That surfer in you, man. Like it's coming out finally.
Yes.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Cool. All right. So I have a question for both of you guys, real quick. What is the motivation for you guys being here? Obviously, I know, but I want the people who don't know you guys, if there are anybody out there, hopefully there are, obviously, but there are. Let them know why you guys are here.
Yeah.
First, Muff.
Dude. Um. So I was in a unique position, kind of in my military career, in that I got stationed overseas, right? And so I got accustomed to a lot of different cultures really, really fast. Um, I was stationed in Italy, and I had an opportunity to travel the majority of Europe, and I continued to like just fall in love with the idea that maybe if one day I could make enough money to where I can live this life without the military, right? Like without that obligation to somebody else or like working for somebody else. And it was a rough journey, man. It felt like every day it was like I was walking in the dark, and then every once in a while you see a little light in the distance, and then you just start running towards it. That's Bakari Banks, you know. I made a connection. Um,
Jesus
so I
Christ.
had I had already left Europe, right? And unfortunately, I got stationed in Missouri, of all places, and that's where I met Banks. And I asked myself every day when I was waking up in the middle of Missouri, the middle of nowhere, you call it the ass crack of the United States. I was in the middle of that. And every day I asked myself, why am I here? What's the meaning behind all this? There has to be something deeper than it just happened, right? It can't just be a coincidence. And then one day I walk into the control room, and they're showing me 1,000 monitors, all mounted to the ceiling, and a million buttons and a bunch of alarms going off. And I see this young kid with a flat top running over, hitting these alarms, and we had these. I guess can't really speak about what we were doing in there, but there's a lot of monitoring capabilities. And Banks was an A1C. He was just an E3, and he was running it all. Like the guys that were other, like the other, like one guy's in the back, just like you could tell he just ate, and he doesn't want to sleep because it's like he can get arrested for it. So he's just like, I'm tired. and then it Banks, the young kid, the guy that should be really just learning at this point, is running the whole show. And I'm just like, I need to talk to this guy. So the first conversation I have with him, he starts bringing up drop shipping, and um, we both agreed that like eventually we want to get to a place where we can work from anywhere. We can take our family to whatever country we want to go to, or whatever vacation or destination, um, and not have to, like Banks said, not have to be chained to a desk. Like I think it's my huge motivation. I want to be free. I want to be able to move and see family and see friends, and go visit places I've never been. And you can't do that when you work 40 hours a week for somebody else. You just can't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my motivation. Banks, I would love to hear yours.
I mean, it's around the same, man. Like honestly, man, like I can't tell y'all fellas enough like how every day I'll wake up and after Whiteman and everything, and I actually moved here to the East Coast. I just realized that like being in one place for too long for me, it really messes with my head, man. Like and not making enough money here or there. Like you put in like thousands of hours of work, and I'm not discrediting anything about the military. It's an amazing opportunity. If you have a chance, I will go to it. If I could do it again, if I could do BMT again, I would. It's the easiest money I made in my life, right? But I just realized that like I want to get to a point to where my family, my friends, my my wife, my future kids, I say, right? They can they can benefit from the work that I've done in this life. It's just I don't want to get to a point where my kids used to struggle like I used to struggle. I don't want to get them to the point where like they have to struggle for and they have like 52 cents in their bank account, and they're asking their sister if they could borrow like $11 for a pizza, and the sister tells them to fuck off because you know it is what it is. But like it's just I really want that for my kids, and I can speak for my wife. She's probably gonna walk by here now because she has an office in this studio too. But we both want that just that freedom, that financial freedom, and it's more than just money. I know like a lot of people are like, money doesn't buy happiness, but God, like God fearing that shit buys peace. It buys peace, man, and if I could just get like a piece of the pie, I think I'll be happy.
I love
That's
that.
my motivation.
Absolutely. Um, I love that, gents. Just in case anybody wants to hear mine, mine is really because I'm a product of two Navy parents. I'm a Navy brat. Both my parents were, my dad was in for 38 years in the Navy, and my mom was 20 in the Navy, '06, and I believe a chief in the Navy's an E6.
No idea.
Well, I believe it is E5 or E6. I can't remember.
Shout out
Um,
I
to
know
our
that
fellow
for sure.
seamen.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
They're gonna
And
hate me
sea
for that one.
ladies.
yeah,
I'll
there
take
you
that.
go.
Yeah.
I'll take that
No,
on the
but
chin.
shout
I'll
out the
take.
Navy.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate it though, gents. Um, I love helping anybody who was military, is military. The fact that my best friend Paul went into it, and Banks, who is also an Air Forceman, um, Air Forceman, right? Air Force.
Air,
Airman.
Airman, it's
Airman?
okay,
Yeah,
man.
I'm sorry, gents. I'm still trying. An airman.
AKA Chair Force for us, right?
Yeah, yeah. If I
Yeah,
wasn't
right.
gonna. But an airman, apologies to all the other airmen out there. I won't happen again. Um, but yeah, I wanted to help out in any way I could, create a future that I want to create for myself. I want everyone who's around me to create that for themselves. And I also don't want to be chained to a desk. And Banks, you said something that really hit with me. That money buys peace and like peace of mind and everything like that. And I also think money buys a little bit more time. It doesn't buy you like an actual extended clock or anything, But the more money you have, the more time you can create. Just do whatever it is you want with whoever you want, your family, your kids, your friends, whatever it is that makes you happy type stuff. That's what I want for me and anyone who's around me. Um, and I don't know, I don't want to spend my life inside of an office for 50 some odd years or whatever it is that people are doing now. Like, that just sounds so terrible. There's so many other things you can do and create money with nowadays. I mean, it's 2023, like the internet is a crazy thing. Social media is a crazy thing. If you're not really taking advantage of stuff like that, I mean, you're kind of missing out on stuff right now because there's so many different ways that you can better your life while you're still doing the things that you have to do to keep that life going that you want to create. That's kind of why I'm here, and I don't know. I don't know. That's just me.
I feel that, brother. I
No,
feel that
100%.
100%, man. Hey, man, we all here for a reason, brother, and we're
It's
here to help whoever listens to this.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
100%, man.
Paul, you got anything you want to ask us?
Yeah, let's say everything pans out perfectly. Let's say you could do anything in the world, and let's say you achieve every goal that you've set for yourself. Where do you guys see yourself in the end? Like, what's your end game in life?
I want to own the moon. Nah, I'm just playing. So end game for myself. One of my buddies here at the base I'm at here on the East Coast. Um, he could attest to this one, and he's gonna see our first episode, so he's gonna smile when he hears this. But I want to be sipping on mimosas, which is my least favorite drink ever. But I want to be sipping on mimosas and eating truffle chips because they're like actual truffle chips are like $90 a bag. It's ridiculous.
Fact, though.
Like I wanted to sip on mimosas and truffle chips in my villa
Daddy, chill.
on the beach.
That
That's how I
sounds like
see
a
myself.
beautiful life.
Sounds like a great life to me.
100%.
Um, Absolutely. How long did you say the time frame was?
Just your end game. Like,
My
wherever you see yourself, like, pretty much where, like, you have the house, you have the vacations under your belt, you've done the family thing. Like, where do you see yourself, like, ending up at the end of your life?
Well, I mean, obviously the family, kids, all that, house, peace, financial freedom, all that stuff. But I mean, to be honest, I don't want my lineage to have to work. Like I want to be able to create generational wealth that lasts longer than me. I want to help further down the line than just me. And if I can do that, then I feel like I did what I was supposed to do and created what I hope to create, I guess, with the help of us. Because it doesn't happen just by one person. It takes a team to build anything. And that's why I partnered with you two gentlemen, and I could not be happier with this choice that we've all made.
100%, man.
Yeah,
What
I love
about you?
working with you
What about
guys.
you, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think end game for me is somewhere out in the woods, surrounded by family. That's like, I think that's probably where I'm gonna end up. Um,
Just straight in the woods, like no house, no,
not, bro,
just camping in the woods, man.
no, absolutely not. No, I mean, no, like, I don't know if, like, you guys are like, if you guys follow, like, Lil Boosie, but he just bought a bunch of land and he just built a bunch of homes for everybody that he fucks with. All his nieces, all his nephews, like, they're all good. He built a like nice houses for him too on his land that he owns. Like, just taking, I don't want to say taking back land, but taking back, like owning something. Like that's ownership for me, is like, that's where I see myself end game, because I want to set up my family for a couple of generations. Past that, they're just some people with the same that last name as me. I never met any of them. I'll never know them. You know what I mean? But for the people that I know right now, for the ones that I'll have in my lifetime, I want to make sure that they never suffer, that they never go without. and yeah, buy back some land, baby. Let's own some land. Let's build some houses. Let's set our people up for the end game, whatever that is for them. Like I know some of my boys like want to be in a penthouse in Miami. They want to be at the top floor, Aiden Ross level kind of money, but it's like it's different strokes for different folks. I want to be able to shoot guns. I don't know, like that's my thing. You can't do that from a penthouse. So yeah,
Hell yeah, brother.
that's my end game. Country boy.
Hey, I feel it, man. I feel it. I'll stick with my mimosas and beach and everything, man, because I want to just look out into the
Bro, I
horizon
will
and
visit
be an
you.
old fart. I want to be an old fart and just be
Yes.
able to look out into the waves, man.
Bro, you gotta
I
let me
love
and
it.
Mike come and surf with you.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely, man. I don't even know how to swim yet, man. Like I'm 25 years old.
We'll teach
Hey,
you.
if y'all
That's
could teach
easy.
me, then y'all
That's the
got.
easy
Got you.
part.
We'll teach
That's
We
you.
probably
easy.
gonna be like 90 something, brother. Like
Bro, you
trying
doggy
to learn how to
paddle.
swim.
As long as you're in shape, you do some cardio, you can doggy paddle for a while.
You'll be fine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You'll be
Easy,
fine.
bro. It's like riding a
You think
bike. You'll
so?
be fine.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. You'll be fine. It's
What?
not
I
that
don't
deep.
know, man.
It's not that
I ain't
deep.
ride a bike until I was like 13, brother. Like it's
Hey,
pretty hard.
You could drive a car. I think if you can do that, you can do most things.
yeah, I mean, you don't go out that far. You can probably stand where you'd end up anyway. So you'll be fine.
Man, that's crazy, man.
Everything
Oh
So
man, it's so beautiful, brother. Like the fact that we even starting this. I'm stoked to see the future episodes of real estate. But let's move into something that people can actually like grasp, right? Let's move into something to like let's give back to the people who are actually taking the time out and watching this, right? Let's think of something that what could benefit people with full-time jobs. Like they're in my position for the most part, like working a 12-hour shift, like 5 days a week, every other week, and working dang near 80 hours every other week. It's grueling. It's tiring. You don't want to do anything when you get home. Your wife starts talking to you. You're just like, I don't want to hear it. Or your husband starts talking to you like, I don't want to hear it. What, like, what can we give those people who with full time jobs? I mean, I know I'm the only one here, and Mike too. But what can we give those people?
well, mine's a little different. I'll mainly let Paul talk because I want it to be more focused on y'all and like the military aspect because we are Veterans Choice Investments after all. So Paul, it is your stage here, my friend.
yeah. So obviously, if you're here, it's probably because you have some interest in real estate, right? So I think I can probably talk freely to that. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
Makes sense, right? Okay. So
absolutely.
if you're interested in real estate, there's a reason for it, right? Whether it's you want to have something that you own that nobody can take away from you as long as you make payments. It's rightfully yours. I know that's a big thing for a lot of people. I know that's like buying my first house was a milestone achievement for me. That was a bucket list item for me. And same with my wife cuz I mean, I don't come from a whole lot. So to like look around and say I own all four walls, that means something. You know what I mean? And so I think to further that, I would ask people if you're interested in real estate, it's probably because you want to own some shit. So before you can own some shit, you need to sell some shit. Okay? And a really easy way to start making your nest egg for your family or to make some money to start up an investment is by doing a real estate deal. Whatever that looks like for you. Just get involved in real estate in some way, shape, or form. I would say probably the easiest way, at least for August of 2023, is to wholesale. It's still pretty legal. I mean, it's still not like outlawed in most states. I think it's like Arizona, um, I want to say like Ohio or something. There's a bunch of weird states where you have to like you just essentially have to tell if you're speaking to somebody, you have to tell them that you intend on wholesaling it.
Yeah,
But
and
for the
in
most
no way
part,
it's outlawed. It's just you have to clarify that what
yeah.
your intent is. Yes, just so everybody is
I
aware.
guess I guess yeah, I guess more restrictions in place.
Yeah,
But I mean it's a really easy concept, right? So At the very core of it, you're just a middleman. So I'll give you guys a really good example of how to get your first deal. Let's say Bakari here is selling his house, right? Let's say he bought it for 200,000. It's probably worth about 400,000, but he knows if he sells it at like 350, he could probably sell it pretty quick, right? So let's say Bakari, let's say one day I'm walking down the street and I bump into him and we're talking and he says, "Yeah, I'm actually thinking about selling my house soon, but I think it's worth like 400,000. I looked on Zillow. I'm not really sure, right?" And I say, "Well, actually, I know somebody that was looking to buy a house. Would it be okay if I connected you to?" And then that's when I bring in Mike. Mike wants to buy Bakari's house. I connect the two, and when the deal is done, I make a profit. And
Are
on
there any
average,
are there any other ways besides that you can make money in the investment side of real estate as well?
oh, absolutely. So if you're a guy that likes or gal that likes to invest, whether it's like stocks, crypto, index funds, whatever, anything like that. There's a couple of great index funds, right? So it's like an index fund is just like a combination of like either a bunch of different companies or um, a bunch of different people in the same space, and it's like their stock prices essentially, right? So
Mhm.
you're investing in those companies, right? So what a REIT is it's a combination of real estate investments that people have to crowdsource the money for. So for the example of that would be like, let's say I needed $4 million to go buy an RV park, right? And that was like my end goal. You know what I mean? That was my end game. And I was like $1 million short. Well, I can go on my Instagram and say, "Hey, I'm a real estate investor. If you guys don't know me, my name is Paul Rodriguez. I'm thinking about buying this RV park, but I need other people to invest in this project with me." Right. And so I send all the paperwork up, and then it becomes you can trade it on like Robinhood or one of those companies, like one of those apps. And once it gets listed on there, people can actually start investing for a fraction of whatever profit you're going to make on that RV park. And so, what that can look like for you realistically is just logging onto your phone real quick, going to Robinhood or any Webull or any one of those apps, and you can just invest in a REIT for like 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 50 bucks. You
Wow.
know what I mean? If you
Yeah,
could throw away, if you could like comfortably put away some money every month that you don't mind, that you're not going to touch, treat it kind of like a savings outside of your savings, right? Like um, you want to have some emergency money, but you also want to have money. You want to have your money growing for you over time. You know,
100%. It's
so
one
I
thing I had to
think,
learn.
yeah, it's tough though, right? Like if nobody
Yeah, it
sits you
is.
down and explains it to you, it's like it can catch up pretty quick to you. So
You gotta put down the
um,
DoorDash, the Jordans. You gotta put down going out every other week. You gotta, in order to just to be blunt, in order to make some money, you gotta be willing to sacrifice just a little bit, just a
absolutely. You
tiny
hit
bit.
the exact right word too.
downgrade your
Sacrifice.
lifestyle. Yeah.
Downgrade your lifestyle.
Like
Live frugally. Out.
if you guys can sell your car and get a cheaper one, do that. Get something more reliable. It's better on gas. Until you don't have to worry about that anymore. If you
Absolutely.
guys are spending, a bunch of money every month renting, looking to see if it would be cheaper to buy a house. I think the majority of our demographic is probably going to be veterans, so they probably have access to a VA loan in some way, shape, or form, and you could put that VA loan to work. I mean, it's as long as you guys, for a VA loan, all you have to show is that you have employment for 2 years, and it's no money
No
down,
down payment.
zero.
You can go through Navy Federal, USAA, either of those. Get your mortgage through that. You get a great interest rate even now. Um, this is not a sponsorship in any way, shape, or form. We just
Nah,
know
man.
that they're
Free
fucking
game.
amazing.
I would say this, man. Every time I go to work, like everybody's like zombie. 4 o'clock in the morning. I look angry as I don't know what and unapproachable for my people here. You already know. But I could tell you this that I always tell people, hey, you should buy a house. Why not? How much is your rent? People will spit to me. They're like, my rent's like 1,900. My rent's like 21. My rent's like 24. I'm like, dude, you can put all that in a mortgage. Don't listen to these people saying interest rates are high, which they are. They are high. I'm not even gonna lie about that. We'll talk about that in a second. But interest rates are high, but like if you own a house, it doesn't bind you to that area, even if you are a veteran. Let's say you have the PCS, and for those who are not veterans, PCS is just permanent change of station. So let's say you have to move, right? Because the military is always moving. That's your asset to either make it a cash flowing asset or you can make it a money eating asset. But it just depends on how you do it. Be smart about your money moves.
Yeah,
We're trying to build generational wealth, not trying to build generational debt.
absolutely. If you're gonna buy anything, you buy an asset, not another car that's costing you $700 a month that you lost
No.
40% of it when you drove it off the lot. And I get it. It looks great out there. It looks awesome on the road. But you know it looks better whenever you keep upgrading your house because it appreciates and appreciates, and next thing you know, you got some dope ass crib. And guess what? You might be driving a beater, but you live in a fucking palace. Which is a question I always ask people. Would you rather have a nice car or a nice house? And you will learn a lot about people when you ask those two questions.
That is
I
true.
promise
That's a
you that.
great one. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. I ain't
Absolutely.
gonna lie. I'm a little bit stubborn, man. I like a nice car, even though I drive like a beat Nissan Sentra. Hey,
I
shout out
get
to
it.
Nissan. You got me from point A to point B.
Shout out
I
to
love y'all.
Nissan.
But I drive a cracked windshield, beat up Nissan Sentra mainly because I live in the hood. But it gets me from point A to point B. And if I had a nice car, I think that would be nice.
I get it. I truly do.
But what people don't know is Banks owns his own house.
That is
He's
correct.
not renting. He has a mortgage. He owns a piece of real estate. But he drives the beat up Sentra because he freaking gets it, bro. Because
Gotcha.
he
Absolutely.
understands that like if he just downgrades his lifestyle for like 6 months, a year maybe, two at the most, you'll never have to worry about money for the rest of your life. Because by that time the asset that he bought is gonna appreciate, and now Banks can walk away with a 6-figure payday.
Absolutely.
He didn't do
Absolutely.
anything. All he did was he just lived in the house. You know what I mean?
And Paul, I do want you to. I did accidentally cut you off. I do want you to keep touching on what you're talking about wholesale and about the. You're about to say something about the minimum of what you could make right now, or not the minimum, the
Yeah.
average. I apologize.
Yeah, so I see a lot of figures get thrown around, especially shout out to Wholesale Hotline, shout out to Pace Morby, Jamil Damji, and Brett Daniels. Also, shout out Jerry Norton. I've learned the majority of what I know from those guys, so shout out
The
to them.
Giants.
But
The Giants.
but typically, like you can make 20 bands on one wholesale deal, $20,000 on one deal.
And
So it's
that's the
like
average right now.
that's the average. That's
Right.
like that's it's been pretty solid over the past couple of years, ever since it's become, um, like the information's become trackable. Like more
Right.
people are tracking it. So,
And that's why it's
um,
becoming more regulated and people are
right,
taking a closer look at it. And that makes sense because people want to know what's going on with their houses, right? They don't want to feel like
yeah,
they're getting duped or anything like that. And we understand that. And that's
100%.
we make especially these two right here. These two make so many phone calls every single day. And Banks works in the military still makes these phone calls, still does all this work. And like another question I have for you two is just because I don't do as much work as these two. I will be honest. These two are everything to me, and they keep this company rolling. Without
Oh,
them, I would truly be
you better
nothing.
stop it. I'm about
I'm
to come through
serious.
this webcam and
Yeah,
get
I'm about to
smooched.
just shed a tear.
about
My
4 hours
question,
away.
my question is, what's the bare minimum somebody needs to like if you want to really do this with a job, without a job? So like Paul, you're out of the military now. You have time to dedicate to this company. That is why you're the CEO, and the the captain of this ship. And then Banks, with your job, I want to hear like what's the bare minimum from your side. So please, gentlemen, take it away.
Oh man, you want to go first, Paul? I got this one.
Uh, no, I think you're the man to talk about it, bro. I mean, you're literally living it right now. If, for those that don't know, Banks is active duty Air Force. He works 12-hour shifts, you know, and he could very easily say, I don't want to do anything else because I work a lot. He does. He works a lot. He wakes up really early. He doesn't go to bed super early. You know what I mean? He stays up. He puts the work in, and I want to hear what you can give to the people, Banks. Like what advice can you give somebody that's working a shitty job? Maybe they're only making 500 bucks a week at their job or 300 bucks a week if they're lucky.
Oh man.
You know, like
First,
what can I like what do I need to
oh
just
man,
make one wholesale deal?
oh man. First and foremost, shout out to Alpha Flight, my first flight, and Bravo Flight, my second. But the bare minimum, right? Honestly, like what I've like amassed in my mind, like one thing that you do need is just a will. Like it's not easy coming home from work and getting on a computer and making phone calls to these people who are going to tell you no all day. I can tell you right now is the grueling people, especially if you work at the gate. And for those who know, you know, but if you work at the gate and it's mindless scanning IDs and everything, man, and you're just like, oh man, I gotta come home and get told no some more. That's where your will comes into play, your willpower, man. Like it's it's not easy. It's not easy. You're doing it for a greater purpose, just like the military tells us. Like we're doing it for a greater purpose than ourselves. Like we're doing it for what is our why. That's an essential bare minimum right there. That's like absolute bare minimum. You need to have the willpower. I say like tangible wise, like what you need. Like you need at least a computer or some type of form of access to the internet and a
Yeah, like a
phone.
phone, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You could just use a phone, honestly. As soon as you get on your phone, you can download all these apps that are available to wholesalers, real estate. You can start YouTube University, which is an amazing university. I rolled into it thousands of times. I probably have a PhD in it by now. But YouTube University is a real important one. You do your research. And for those who don't like to read, raise your hand. For those who don't like to read, you got to get over that. You have to read. One thing I've learned as like in me just like going on this journey is that I can't get around it. I have to learn. I have to further myself in this field. I have to learn this skill. Like there's no way around it. I just like Nike said, hey, Nike, you endorse me. Hey, just do it.
Or
Just do
Shia
it.
LaBeouf, you know.
Yeah.
Do it! Just do it!
No, it's so true, man, cuz it's like you can make excuses or you could just make results. Like it's really that simple. Like you could either say like, "Oh, I'm really tired," or I just want to eat and go to bed," or "Yeah, I haven't played the game in a while," or "I haven't," you know. But at the end of the day, you're working so that you can have more free time in the end. And if you don't ever put that work in, the the goal is never going to get done. So you're always going to be in a weird like in the middle space. And so
Absolutely.
I say if you want to get started in real estate, start today. You want to change your life, start today. Go on Zillow, look at houses in your area that are for sale, call them. I don't care if it's a real estate agent, I don't care if it's a for sale by owner, call them and just be like, "Hey, I'm new to this whole thing, but what can you tell me about your property?" And they're going to be like, "Are
Mhm.
you looking to like move in here?" And you'd be like, "No, I'm an investor." And all of a sudden people start they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so it's a 2 bedroom, 3 bath." And you're like, why are there so many bathrooms?" You know what I mean? But eventually you'll get to a point where you get comfortable talking to these people and everything will make sense. And you'll get your first deal. And then you'll be able to put a bunch of money in the bank or maybe pay off that debt or pay off that car or maybe that credit card that you still have and like now you're like, "Okay, now I'm not making this payment every month to my debt. Maybe I can put it towards this real estate thing."
Mhm.
right? And then, like I said, you can put some money in REITs. Just look up real estate. I think it's like real estate index funds is what it stands for, or REIF, whatever it is. But it's literally just you put like 50 bucks in, 100 bucks in. If you do that every month, you're going to see some returns, and like it give it 5 years and you're going to see a ton of return. So, I don't know, man. I think the only way that you don't get started in this is if you're not serious about it
100%.
at the end of the day. Like, because when Banks wants to make money, I know, because he's always on here. He's always talking to me. He's always making deals. He's always talking to people. He's always figuring it out, right? And that's what separates people. That's the difference between you working at that job that you're at right now versus where you want to be. Like, I know everybody doesn't want to be like a super wealthy guy or girl, but like, dude, you can make a lot of money without doing a whole lot of work. You know what I mean? If you're just smart about how you use your time. Like, instead of
Mhm.
like, I would love to just sit in front of sit in front of my computer and play games all day, right? But I don't. I have to work, right? Because I know that if I don't work, nothing's ever going to change for me. My circumstance isn't going to change. And I mean, all you need is a phone to do it. Like, just do it, bro. Just do it. Just get on there, start taking notes, look up people in your area. If there's like a real estate investors meetup, go there and just be like, dude, I've never done a deal. Somebody help me. Just put your hands up like this and just be like, somebody help me.
That's an
And somebody
important
will
one
come
right
over and be like, bro, what's up with this guy? You good, bro? And be like, yeah, I want a wholesale. Teach me about it. And they're like, I'm a realtor. I don't know what that is. And I'm like, okay, I need to talk to somebody else. That wasn't a
there.
shade at
100%.
realtors, but you know what I'm saying. Shout out all my realtors. But yeah, man, go out there, get it. Because if you don't, you're still gonna be chilling. Like, the time is gonna keep going, bro.
It's never gonna come, man. It's never gonna come. And I can tell you right now, man, a lot of the retirement and everything, you gotta chase after that retirement now. So this real estate is a quicker way to get to that retirement. In my eyes, at least. In my eyes.
Well, it's just a different form of it, right? Like real estate has to be looked at as like a long term type of asset. It's not, if you own a house for 2 years, it's not going to appreciate like it would in 5, 10, 20. Like, imagine how exciting is it when you pay off your car after like 3, 4, 5, however many years? That payment, imagine doing that with a house, and then like that appreciation is just all yours. Everything you sell that thing for is yours. And if you have that in multiple different facets and you hold on to those, eventually you can make a lot of money, but it's a long term appreciating asset. So that's why real estate can be great compared to other like investment opportunities, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because when you own stuff, it's worth more over time if you take care of
Absolutely.
it.
Yep.
So, anyway,
Hey
And
man, I feel that.
yeah,
Hits home.
yeah,
absolutely. But
it's home for me
Paul,
too.
Paul, you want to talk a little? Is there anything more you want to talk about with REITs or reefs or whatever you were talking about there? The real estate index,
Yeah.
whatever. For?
So, I mean, you guys can, like I said, you guys can invest like 100 bucks every month, 50 bucks every whatever you can put aside. Usually I think minimums on for like investing is like 5 bucks or like a dollar or something like that.
Mm.
So you could do it, man. You just can't make excuses. Like, you just gotta start putting away the money and then learning. Like, I think I think what everybody should strive for is to make their first deal, and then they should take their first deal and invest it in themselves, whatever that looks like for you. Whether that's a mentorship, which I really recommend, which I really think that all three of us should join Pace Morby's mentorship. Shout out to Sub Two. Uh,
Oh
awesome
yeah.
stuff right there. But I mean, it's the truth. Like, if you have a habit of every time you get money, then you just go blow it on shoes and cars and vacations and
DoorDash.
liabilities essentially. Yeah, DoorDash every night. That
DoorDash.
stuff
I know
adds up.
you.
You know what I'm saying?
Forty
Gas Plus and
dollars.
all that. Yeah.
$40. Dash
Yep.
Plus doesn't save you money. Hey, I
It
love
don't save you
DoorDash.
money,
Hey,
bro.
don't.
It feels like it does, though. It feels like it does. All right, don't
It
you
ain't
judge me.
saving you.
Don't you judge me.
Like in the
I'm
short term,
stimulating the economy over here. Okay, I'm stimulating the economy.
short term, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest with y'all. I'm gonna be real hard with y'all. Get your ass up and cook. It
I
doesn't
know.
take much. It doesn't take much to freaking go into YouTube and look up a recipe. If you
I
got,
know.
Yeah.
if you can't cook by that nowadays, and this is not a shot at you, Mike. I know you
Oh, I
you
know.
live your
I
life,
can cook. I
live your
just
best
don't
life.
like doing it.
If you can't get up, watch a YouTube video. You're looking at this video right now, right? So you obviously have some aptitude to look up and research things. If you can't research a recipe, go out to the store, buy some ingredients, and then slap it on the stove, I don't think you're gonna go far with this.
Because
Spaghetti's
nobody,
not hard to make.
like, yeah, it'd be
I make
cool if
that all
like
the time.
it'd
All the
be
time.
cool if everybody's parent or whoever raised them or they were growing up with, it'd be cool if everybody learned how to cook at a very elite level, right? But that's not the case for a lot of us. Like for example, Mike's parents, both of them were in the Navy. They didn't have a whole lot of free time. I can guarantee it. I can almost guarantee it. Dad was probably on a ship somewhere for extended periods of time. Mom was still working a full-time job. Sometimes you just got to figure it out, bro. That's the same thing with this. Like you're not going to know every single step on how to invest in real estate. You know what I mean? But if you always just keep taking one step in front of each other, if you just fail and you fail again, eventually you're going to learn something that you can use to start making money with. So
100%, man. And shout out to my boy
just
Carter.
start.
Rise from the ashes.
Yes,
Rise from
sir.
the ashes. Hey man, this is beautiful, fellas. I thought I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I was very nervous when we first started this podcast, and now we like 40,
Oh,
50 minutes in,
weird.
man.
We couldn't tell, Banks. No way. No
I was
way.
100.
I
I
was
was
just
extremely nervous.
we couldn't tell at all. But now that you say you're not nervous, we're gonna make you nervous again, my boy. All right, Paul. It's that time of the night. We're gonna go to the VCI current events. All right, Banks. Paul and I had a conversation earlier, and we wanted to talk about this just because of how insane this has been.
Make it sound like
Tell
I
us.
killed somebody.
No, no, no. But God, oh, tell us about your first deal
Oh
and
man.
how. Don't we don't have to go into
Pop your
specifics,
shit. Pop
specifics,
Oh
your
but
shit.
man.
we can talk about the logistics of it. So just please,
So
please.
I'm not going to go into specifics. I'm a scratch all the identity and all the location and everything. So first deal is actually a good one. I actually bought this from a very close friend. I'm not gonna tell you position or whatever, but I bought this from a very close friend I met over here in my new location, and we got it for a good price, right? We bought it on a sub two transaction. For those who don't know what that is, yeah, you could zoom in to Pace Mortgage Group or like his masterclass on YouTube. It's free for everybody. It gives you great examples. It gives you how you do it. We'll put the link inside some bios for y'all. But we bought it on a sub two transaction. As simple as it is, it's just assuming the mortgage, right? You're just taking over somebody's payments. You're adding a little bit of sprinkles on top, right? Um, we took over his mortgage, and I relayed to him. I was like, you know what, brother? We're gonna give you 25% on any type of rent or any type of profit that we're getting from this, right? For the next, I don't know how long was it, guys? Like
30
30 years.
years.
30 years. Got you. 30 years. So
360 months to be exact. Yeah.
360 months. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot
Uh,
of months too.
yeah, and the house was worth I think it was around $420,000. Altogether it was like $420,000. We got it appraised and everything, and we bought it off of him like straight, just assuming the mortgage. And we actually we sold it on a wrap, right? We sold it on a kind of a wrap. We didn't know what we was doing. To be honest with you, I feel like we double didn't we double close on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Just to be like in the spirit of honesty, we screwed up to a
Yeah,
degree.
yeah, we
Yeah,
butchered your first sub two deal for sure.
yeah. But it worked out, and we got a buyer, and oh man, we got a buyer, and I don't. I'm pulling punches here. I'm gonna pull punches, but I can say this for those who are getting into sub two for the first time. Make sure, and I'm gonna get close to the mic for this one. Make sure it's explicitly clear what a sub two transaction is, because if you don't, there's gonna be confusion. There's gonna be immense confusion. So what ended up happening? We priced the house around what the rent rate was for the area. We did the pity, which is I'm brain flopping here.
Pity,
Yeah, the
Yeah,
pity. Principal, interest,
interest,
taxes,
and
insurance.
insurance.
Gotcha.
you
Yes,
got
Yeah,
it.
sir.
man.
You didn't even
I'm
need
I'm
any
not.
help. Let's go.
Hey, I'm coming off of work, man. So
You got it.
my mind is like in a in kind terms, kind terms. I'm brain shitting here, but we based her mortgage off of that, and one thing led to another. There was some sour faces behind it. Um, Tried to negotiate here and there. We worked with the person a lot. We tried to, we was pretty much breaking our backs to get this person in the house, and it was just they was trying to take advantage of what we already like. It was almost like you feed it like a dog. Like let's say you're feeding a dog, right? I'm not comparing this person to a dog. She's a beautiful person, by the way. But you're feeding the dog off the kitchen table, and like the dog is just looking at you. It's just like,
Yeah.
and you're like, I just gave you some French fries, man. What you want from me? You want the whole plate?
Taking your kindness as weakness, kind of thing.
Yeah, that'll happen a lot, man. That'll happen a lot, and hopefully we won't have that problem again. But the deal was a beautiful deal. We're making quite a bit of money off of it now. Yeah, man, that's all I got.
So
That's the kindest I could put it.
let me ask you a couple of questions just to make sure I understand this. So number one, let me just make sure I understand this deal. So you networked with a guy that you worked with. You just asked him, "Hey, are you looking to sell your house?" And he was like, "Yeah." And you were like, "Okay, cool. Can I buy it?" And your friend was
Yeah, it
like,
was just that
"Okay."
simple. Yeah, it turns out this guy was actually this guy was just I realized that this guy was actually in charge of me. For those who are not in the military, he's my supervisor. Not going to disclose any information, but I I was in something called a gate shack. So what the gate shack is, all the gate guards go back in there to eat lunch and go use the latrine as military terms. But I met this guy, and it was like 5 seconds into this, 5 seconds into me meeting him. I see him on Amazon FBA, and we started bullshitting. We started, chopping it up and everything. And he's like, I'm telling him I'm in real estate. He was like, oh, my neighbor's trying to sell the house, so he's trying to get me connected with his neighbor. And his neighbor's like, oh, I don't really want to sell under those terms and everything like that, which is totally fine. But your loss, right? So he's like, so this guy tells me, "Hey, you know what? I'll sell you my house." I was like, "Oh man, for real?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "You serious?" Because I'm gonna use a fake term here, befuddled at the fact that he'll sell me his house, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll sell it under your terms."
So did you
I
have to put
called,
any money down?
absolutely not. Didn't have to put any type of money down.
Wait, okay, so just for everybody that's watching this, I just want to make sure that we're crystal clear about what happened here. Banks bought a $420,000 house with no money down. There was no money to the seller at closing, is what you're telling me.
No money
You
whatsoever. And it
didn't.
was just a friend to a friend situation, but he's making money over time.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you were talking about that earlier. What does he receive?
25% of any profit that comes out of the mortgage, or if we decide to rent it, 25%.
Gotcha. So you make 75%, or your cut is 75% of everything that asset brings in, all the revenue.
Yep. Yep.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Eh,
So you bought this. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, it's good. I just wanted to be like, I wanted to get the numbers straight for everybody. I wanted to be realistic. We're not some gurus here, so it's about 1,600 a month for one deal that for just word of mouth.
And so just
Imagine
so the people at home understand, so we're making about $1,600 profit on this deal every month for
profit
how long?
for 30 years. 30 years.
Or until probably they sell, right?
Yeah, until they sell, but we'll still make our money.
Yeah.
Still make our money. But it's just like, you got to think about it, guys. For those who are like, strategy, they like strategy games or whatever, who like to play chess, not checkers, mug. If you get like 5 of those, netting at like $1,600 a month, which is a good deal, good. You just
Yeah.
replaced your income. Well, at least at my level, my income is not that much, but I just replaced my income. If I get 10, double it.
So what you're telling me, somebody right now that's sitting on their couch or driving to work or just chilling on their phone is watching this. What you're telling me is that just by knowing 10 people in their lifetime that would be willing to sell to them on a personal, like as a personal kind of like IOU kind of thing, if they're able to find 10 people that sell them their house for the rest of their life, they'll never have to worry about money again, theoretically, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe if they want to grow or whatever, but if you live frugally and like actually live like the life you was living yesterday, then yeah, you'll be chilling, man. You'll be able to go to like cruises. You'll be able to party and everything. Go around the world, go see events or whatever. I mean, whatever the guys get into nowadays. I'm a nerd, so I stay in and play like games and everything. But I do like taking my wife out. The DC, go take her out to the cities and everything like that.
That's what it's all about, right? Like, we make all this money so that we can be with family, we can be with the people we care about. Like, I was telling my wife the other day, like we're about to sell our house, and I was like, I got to be closer to Mike, dude. I have to be closer to Mike. Like, I don't care if I'm a state away or 2 states away. I was like, I got to be within like at least a 4 or 5 hour driving distance from Mike. Like, you know what I mean? Because it, like, when you put people in your life that constantly want to elevate, that constantly want to do better things, and just, I don't know, just help people. Like, I Banks, I want you to move down to Florida with me, man. I'm gonna say it. I think when you get out of the military, I think you got to come down to Florida. Just
I gotta
saying.
tell my
Just throwing
wife
it out
about that one, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure she'll be down, but I don't
I'm
know,
just throwing
man.
it out there. I think you should come down. I think Mike. I think you should move with me. I think we should all get a bunch of houses on like 1,000 acres and drive ATVs and shoot guns and shit. But
Hey,
anyway,
if you can
that's
find
Hell
what
a
yeah,
thousand,
brother.
wellness is like.
you can find 1,000 acres in Florida. I'm down.
Goddamn right,
We
brother.
probably could. Oh, we definitely could.
I don't know if you
It's
can
gonna be
find
it's
a
gonna be a little
thousand
pretty
acres.
penny.
That's pretty big.
Maybe.
That's
We'll see.
big.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
It's okay. It's light.
It's the
Some
dream.
All
for
right,
the
guys. I
kids.
think
That's it,
yeah,
then.
right. So I think we're at about an hour here. I think this is good to wrap up. If you guys are watching this somehow, I really appreciate you being here. All these guys are awesome. I love working with these two. These are some of the best men that I've ever met in my entire life. And the only way that I got to this position, that I'm in the room with these awesome guys, is I went out there and I talked to people. So maybe just try to have that conversation that you've been putting off with a coworker. We love you. Thanks for being here. Guys,
All right.
thanks for being here. Gentlemen, always a pleasure. Love you guys.
Ending the
Absolutely.
first episode of The Wire,
We'll see
Wise
you next time.
Investments, Real Estate Edition. Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.